Handbags. Almost every woman loves handbags, and there are so many choices on the market. And of course, the industry of fashion is always saying that you must have the next in handbag. It must be a great marketing opportunity for them because it seems to work. Now, I love handbags. However, I have several, only 2 or 3, that I use constantly. And the others, I still like looking at them, but I don't seem to wear them and carry them as much as I probably should. So I have a selection of handbags in front of me today that we're going to talk about. Now, first of all, the handbag selection is based on color and style and the price point that you personally would like to pay. So a handbag, when we think about the styling, I don't really care too much whether it's in or not. What I care about, does it look good when I carry it? So based on your body type, whether you have large hips or small hips, or you like a shoulder bag or a clutch bag, or anything in between, you have a lot of options, but you want to look fabulous when you carry that. So of course, when you pick up a handbag in the store and you're trying to decide if you like it, it's great to look at yourself in a full-length mirror. That's a good option. So we start with color, and of course a black handbag is probably completely timeless, and it works beautifully almost all year round. And of course that depends on where you live. And also the passion that you have for handbags governs how many handbags you really have. Now, I have a beautiful bright green Ferragamo handbag, and I simply love that handbag. It was maybe $600 quite a few years ago. And when you buy a handbag that you love, you actually use it. That particular handbag is still in storage. However, that my full collection will be showing up shortly, I anticipate. So that was only $600. However, I actually, at some point in my career, I actually purchased 2 Chanel handbags. Now, that was at least a decade ago. And I purchased this one, which is a large handbag for me, not too thick through this area because I don't want to add weight to my hips. I like to carry it like this. However, I have certainly carried it like this. This for me is the largest handbag I own, and I use it when I'm traveling internationally. It has a separate area in the back where I can pop in my passport and some of my documents that I'm going to need when going through the international customs. So this is a good handbag, and when you want to consider all of the elements of a handbag, you want to see how it feels in your hand as well. So this is a nice soft leather. Now, this handbag, as I mentioned, I purchased at least 10 years ago. It was $2,000 at the time, and I simply love it. I only use it for travel because everyday use for me is not needed in such a large handbag. So if I think about the cost per wearing or carrying in this case, $2,000 divided by 10 years is only $200 a year for that particular handbag. Now, I have another everyday kind of Chanel handbag like this, and that's a good bag for a shoulder or around your arm like this. That works nicely as well. And this is a nice everyday kind of size. It works and allows me to carry what I need and look very chic. Again, this was $2,000 10 years ago. So it's unlikely that I'll buy any more Chanel handbags, but I always start at the counters where the beautiful handbags are. And I must admit, I see some that I love, but do I really need it? Now, when I bought those, that was a big stretch for me at that time in my career when I was buying a house and a car and all the other wonderful things that we feel that we need in our abundant society. But I did find that I got great value. I probably wouldn't buy any more Chanel handbags, but I have to admit, I simply love them. Now, just because it's a high price point doesn't mean that it really is a great handbag for you, because the styling, the size, the ornateness of it. I notice a lot of handbag designers are putting a lot of glitz on things and chains and medallions and everything. And then they have the audacity to blatantly put on their label. My concern about that is, am I buying something that represents me at my best rather than a label manufacturer? Not only am I paying top dollar, but then they have the audacity to blatantly display their logo. I sort of disagree with that. I like to promote me, not the designer label that I've purchased. Now, I have a few other handbags here, and I purchased this recently in Dubai. What I love about this handbag is, of course, starting with the color, giving me a lighter look for off-season and some of the hot weather. This is also a pretty good travel bag. It has a pouch in the back that I can pop my phone in and easily access. It's got a zipper which keeps it nice and safe, and it's still fairly comfortable to hang on to, so you always have to try those things. What I love about this handbag is the leather. It's a type of leather with a bit of roughness to it, but looks smooth, that literally nothing is going to damage this, and it's never going to look worn. It's an easy item that you can just swish and wipe down should any marks get on this handbag. So this has been a good choice for me. I particularly like this cute little handbag. Now, if you take a look and you see it over here, it goes on my shoulder, but the reality is it sits too far down on my body. The reality is it should be sitting up here, and that would be safer and more comfortable and give me a nicer body look than way down here. This particular gold is fabulous for my kind of coloring. Now, there are versions of different bright gold and silver and some of the other shades. So what I'm going to do with this handbag is I'll take it into a repair person that does shoes and bags, and they will actually shorten this chain for me in probably $5 or $10, and then that would make it perfect. This is a great little number for grocery shopping and for your light summer colors, or if you're going out to an evening you don't want to carry a big handbag, so that's a great choice for that. Now, knowing that that size works really well, I also purchased this handbag. Now, it's a great choice. It wasn't expensive, but it has strong design lines. That's always a good place to start. It can go nicely over the shoulder, but I have the chain folded underneath, so it fits me at the right spot on my body type here. Now, I can put the chain totally inside as well, and then I can hold it here like a clutch. And I like this handbag. However, to hold it as a clutch when it comes together with this strong point here is most uncomfortable with your hand on it here. Now, if you're carrying a clutch handbag, you want to put it in your left hand so that you can easily shake hands with someone when they come up to you. Also, if you're at a social event, it's nice to put the handbag on your shoulder because then you have both hands free. So if you have a beverage in your hand, it should be in your left hand so that again you can shake with your right hand when you're meeting and greeting people. If you're at a social event, you also want to be able to have your business cards accessed very easily. So I've seen women open their handbag, pull out their tiny little gold case where your business cards are, and then open that. That's way too complicated in a social situation. Now, just while we're touching on business cards for a moment, I'd like to say that it is more important for you to receive someone's business card than for you to give them your business card. If you have their business card, you are in charge of what happens next. And I like to, at the end of the evening, write on the card as to maybe what color that lady was wearing that day, because I might remember her by that, as I'm so color oriented. And also just a couple details about the event that I was at that I would want to easily remember her by. So that's another great tip. Now let's have some fun with a great handbag. Red as a child for me was my favorite color. And a few years ago, I purchased some Stuart Weitzman red patent leather shoes. And I should have bought the matching handbag at the time. However, I did not. But a few years later, when I was shopping in Dubai, I saw this handbag. Now, because my eye for color is so good, I knew this was exactly the correct red. Now, it's a nice handbag. It's easy for travel. It's slim and solid, but doesn't add visual weight to your hips. It's got another nice catch place at the back, and it's easy to handle. It's also very eye-catching. Now, yes, you can carry only a red handbag and not wear the matching shoes. That's fine, but I like to wear it with the matching shoes, and they're very high heels, so it's selective as to where you can wear that, and that's a great choice as well. So with lots and lots of handbag choices, really make sure that you're getting good value for your dollar. So it's about the cost per wearing, how many years you can handle that handbag and see good value for it. I know over the years I've had great value for all the handbags I have. Now the handbag industry is all about, they want you to buy more and more and more, as it's all part of retail. However, do you remember back a few years ago when they had the monstrous handbags, and they were almost like mini weekend suitcases? So that I personally think is too big. Now, maybe a very large woman with a dark coloring and her presence being magnificent, she could probably carry that. But I think a smaller handbag allows people to notice you versus the handbag.